So it was the disappearance of Raya Ramananda. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we're glorifying about him. Okay, disappearance. Okay. He was the governor of South India. Maharaj Prataparudra, he was that time ruling Orissa, the king of Orissa that time. So Raya Ramananda, he was also to rule South India under guidance, like he was the governor of South India, under the rule of Maharaj Prataparudra. But Raya Ramananda, he was not only the governor. He was also a Rasik Vaishnav. He was also a Rasik Vaishnav. Because Raya Ramananda is one of the 3.5 most important associates of Lord Chaitanya. So Sarvabhauma, Raya Ramananda, and Shikimahiti. And the sister of Shikimahiti, Madhavi Devi. Madhavi Devi, she's the half. So that's why in the main associates of Mahaprabhu, 3.5 persons. So why Madhavi Devi is half and the others count as a whole person? Sarvabhauma, Raya Ramananda, and Shikimahiti. And Madhavi is counted as so. So many people ask, why Madhavi she's half? Because she's a woman. But Gurudev said this is not proper, because actually in the transcendental world, there's no difference between woman and man. In this material world, according to the culture of the society, then we see some distinction between man and woman. Otherwise, the society will be destroyed if man and woman would be equal. If you don't follow the rules of the scriptures in society, the society would become like Sahaji and Sakibeki. Like the Sahaji and Sakibeki, these philosophies, they would come and they would contaminate the pure bhakti line. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to stay in Gambhira, at that moment, actually during the day, 4 of them they used to be with Mahaprabhu, always discussing Rasa Madhurya. But when the evening time, like when night would come, would be night, then Madhavi Devi used to go to her bhajan stali place of bhajan. Okay, so now we're discussing about Raya Ramananda something. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains कि Madhya Leela, 8th chapter. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was staying in Jagannath Puri, then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he saw the form of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu showed to him his form of 6 arms. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, then he was confident. Oh, Mahaprabhu is Swayam Bhagavan. Because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was, before he said, I was Shankar Panti, means I was just like some, like I was following the Mayavad philosophy, and by our mercy now I can understand the Tata Siddhanta. Before I was just like some a hyena. I was like a hyena just barking. But now I understand by your mercy the Tata Siddhanta. So Gurudev is talking about that we always go to that village of Raya Ramananda, but this year because of coronavirus we couldn't go. Every year we go to that village of Raya Ramananda near Jagannath Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided I will go to South India. He was thinking of my brother Vishwarup took sannyas, I want to meet him. But this is only some excuse, actually. Actually, the real reason was to meet Raya Ramananda. And Krishna appeared with the mood of Srimati Radhika and her complexion. Mahaprabhu wanted to relish these moods of Srimati Radhika. And meeting Raya Ramananda and discussing all this Rasa Madhuri Katha, he wanted to relish this Rasa Katha with Raya Ramananda. Because Raya Ramananda, he's not ordinary, he's Vishakha Devi. Raya Ramananda, in the pastimes of Radha Krishna, he's Vishakha Devi. Swarupa Damodara is Lalita Devi. Raya Ramananda is Vishakha Devi. Vishakha Devi is very dear Saki to Srimati Radhika. So, meeting with Vishakha Devi would enable Mahaprabhu to relish the inner moods of Srimati Radhika. But externally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, according to the rules of according to the worldly traditions, he told, oh, my brother, Vishwarup, took sannyas, went to South India, so I want to go to find him. I just want to go to find him. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told to Mahaprabhu, Prabhu, if you're going to South India, so certainly you should go to Kabur and meet with Raya Ramananda. Because Raya Ramananda, he's a Mahabhagavat. When he used to stay here with us in Jagannath Puri, in the great assemblies of Panditas, he used to be honored, Raya Ramananda, yes. But when he used to come to these big assemblies, he was only discussing about the gopis. He was not establishing Brahma. He was only speaking about gopis and Rasa Leela only. In those moments, we used to make fun of him. We would make fun of him that time. Prabhu, by your mercy now I realize that actually Raya Ramananda was a Mahabhagavat. So in the Javadharma book, Javadharma, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, when a Mahapurush is staying in this world, very few people can know about him and realize who he is in reality. When this Mahapurush goes away from this material world, then you think, oh, I had the greatest wealth and I let it go. Now I don't have it any longer. I've lost it, this great treasure. So in the same way, by your mercy, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told, now I can understand the glory of Raya Ramananda by your mercy, Prabhu. Already 1 year? They stopped before, no? So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told, hey Prabhu, if you're going to South India, then sorry, surely meet with the Rasik Bhakta Raya Ramananda. Mahaprabhu, after going in South India, he met Raya Ramananda. So for the past 2-3 days, we have been listening about it. They opened the lockdown, or that's why they're making this party? Party, I mean the parades, bands. So we're listening about this, about by the request of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with Raya Ramananda. Mahaprabhu told, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had told me, bring the table for Maharaji. So we're listening how after bathing in the Godavari river, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Gaur Sundar, he left the ghat at the banks of the river and he went to take a rest somewhere, and then Raya Ramananda came in a beautiful like palanquin escorted by Vedic Brahmanas. Then Mahaprabhu saw him and was eager to meet him. Ramananda also, after seeing Mahaprabhu, he also became very eager. Then after that, they embraced each other. And they were absorbed in prem and they fell on the ground, on the floor. We heard this before. Then after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Ramananda in the evening time in the house of a Brahmana. So they talked to each other. This is called Raya Ramananda Samvad. Gurudev also manifested a beautiful book called Raya Ramananda Samvad. Very beautiful book. There are many teachings. Like yesterday in Vrindavan we were discussing. Mahaprabhu was asking questions. He told to Raya Ramananda, establish the Sadhyavastu, the goal. Because after establishing the sadhya, the goal, then we can make the sadhana appropriate to get to that goal. First, we have to establish the aim of our life. What is the aim of our life? What is the aim of life? What we must do in our life? Until where should we reach? Like, which point should we reach in our life? So the sadhaka, in the beginning, he must ascertain that aim. So in the Gauriya Vaishnava line, especially those who came in the line of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, we have only one goal, just like a pole star in the sky, fixed star, which aim? To be the servant of Srimati Radhika. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, if you are the servant of Srimati Radhika, you can easily get Krishna. If you have the Abhiman, the ego of being the servant of Srimati Radhika, we can attain Brajendra Nandan Shyamasundar. Sorry, so we have to establish the Sadhyavastu, our goal. Thus, Radha Dasa, be the servant of Srimati Radhika, then you have to make the sadhana accordingly. Raya Ramananda says, to only way to please Lord Vishnu by performing Varnashram Dharma. We must follow Varnashram Dharma, the rules the scriptures gave, we must follow it. Sorry, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, Brahmachatra, Vaishya and Shudra. 4 Varnas and 4 ashrams. So according to our nature, we have to accept one of them, Varna and ashram, and do our duties accordingly. Those who don't follow Varna and ashram, they have like animal life, animalistic life. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote, to enter the spiritual realm or spiritual life, first step to enter the spiritual life is to follow Varnashram Dharma. First step. And slowly, slowly, we start practicing bhakti. But if you only stay in the Varnashram Dharma also, some moralist people, they do this. Moralists, they say, oh, I only follow this Varnashram. But Shastra explains, no. Okay, to follow the moral and the ethics of society, everything, this is okay. Yes, follow this, of course. But you also, following this, you should do bhajan. Only follow Varna and Ashram Dharma. You cannot get a real good destination. Everything depends on the Bhagavat Bhajan. The main thing is to do Krishna Bhajan. We must do Krishna Bhajan. So like this, Raya Ramananda and Mahaprabhu, they had beautiful discussion. For some days we've been listening already. Mahaprabhu was saying this external, he was saying this. In the end, when Raya Ramananda told, you have to be established in one position. In one position, you have to be established. And with body, mind, and words, you should cultivate the activities favorable to God, and God will be pleased. So here's saying that Shravana Kirtan is Swarup Siddha Bhakti. 3 kinds of bhakti. Arup Siddha Bhakti, Sangha Siddha Bhakti, and third, Swarup Siddha Bhakti. So to listen and practice 9 limbs of bhakti, actually these 9 limbs of bhakti, they are Swarupa Siddha Bhakti. But there is one condition. The condition soul must be surrendered to the feet of Lord. First you have to surrender yourself. Then it's bhakti. So first Sharanagati, then we have the eligibility to enter in the Bhakti Marga. In the Gita, Gurudev used to say, when the Gita ends, finishes, that is the start of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. So Gita is indicating to us how can we should surrender ourselves completely to Bhagavan. Then after that, the Bhagavatam tells us what? How can we accept directly Bhagavat Seva? So Srimad-Bhagavatam explains how to serve. Especially the five main limbs of bhakti, sorry, the main types of five rasas of bhakti, Shanta, Dasa, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya.
शांत में केवल निष्ठा आदि दिखाया,
So in Shanta we see the Nishtha,
सेवा की परिपाटी नहीं है उसमें,
steadiness in the Ishtadeva, but they don't have the tendency to serve.
है गंध। शांत रस में केवल निष्ठा, अपने इष्ट देव की निष्ठा रखते हैं,
Nishtha in the worshipable deity.
नहीं रहने पर उसकी
But they don't have desire to serve. There is no mamata, no possessiveness. Because the service is with possessiveness.
सेवा,
Service is according to the Sambandha again.
वात्सल्य माधुर्य आदि में सेवा की परिपाटी दिखाया गया, इसलिए श्रीमद् भागवत दर्शाते हैं ये हम कैसे रस माधुर्य के
So Srimad-Bhagavatam explains how can we serve to Lord with the rasa madhurya, with the sweet mellows moods. So in this way,
महाप्रभु
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
से सब कथा सुने, कई दिन हम
he told this Okata to Raya Ramananda. We've been listening about this for a few days already.
चैतन्य महाप्रभु
Then,
महाप्रभु की इच्छा के अनुसार
by the desire of Mahaprabhu,
राग भक्ति
Raya Ramananda explained about Vaidhi Bhakti, Raga Bhakti.
राग भक्ति के आगे वर्णन करते हुए एक एक करके रस माधुर्य की सेवा और सब
Then also he spoke about the Rasa Madhurya Seva and the highest service of the gopis, especially the service of Srimati Radhika, which is the highest service of all.
ये सब जो है राजमंद संवाद,
So Raya Ramananda explained all this.
ये रस माधुर्य की गुरु तात्पर्य,
What is the confidential meanings of the Rasa Madhurya?
महाप्रभु के साथ
The confidential secrets of Rasa Madhurya. And they did more questions. Like Mahaprabhu asked, what is the highest knowledge?
भक्ति विद्या ही एकमात्र सर्वश्रेष्ठ
Then Raya Ramananda told, the best knowledge is about Krishna Bhakti.
जानिए निश्चय कृष्ण पाद पद में यदि चित्त वृत्ति भक्ता भगवता अवधि, भक्ति की तात्पर्य क्या है,
So what is the meaning of Bhakti?
भागवत की जो परम चरम जो शिक्षाएं हैं,
The topmost teaching of the Srimad-Bhagavatam.
विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती पाद
Like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains.
जैसे तने तद्धाम वृंदावनम रम्मा काचित उपासना ब्रजबुद्धि वर्णन कल्पिता श्रीमद् भागवतम प्रमाण अमलम प्रेम पुमार्थम श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु मत विदम तत्रादर न परम, आराध्य भगवान ब्रजेश तने तद्धाम वृंदावन, वैनंदन श्याम सुंदर
Brajendrananda Shyamasundara and his Dham, his abode.
हमारे अत्यंत जो है
This is for us
आदरणीय
so worshipable.
विषय,
They're the highest of everything, the highest thing.
मथुराधीश
So, Dwarakadish, Mathuradish, Krishna,
ये कृष्ण हमारे आराध्य,
these other Krishnas are not our worshipable deity. We honor them, this is true. But Brajendrananda and Shyamasundara, he's put in the highest position.
माधुर्य प्रकाशित होते,
He's the highest.
आराध्य भगवान
This also
वृंदावन
shows the Rasa Madhurya, the sweet mellows.
वर्गेण ज कल्पिता ब्रजदेवियां ब्रजगोपीगण, वृंदावन में ब्रजगोपीगण जिस प्रकार
How the Brajagopis in Vrindavan,
भाव से सेवा
they are serving Krishna with which mood?
प्राप्ति ही हमारी चरम लक्ष्य,
Our main goal, topmost goal is to attain to that bhav.
जो भाव परक
This bhav, parakya bhav of the Brajagopis, this transcendental, divine
प्राप्ति कर
parakya bhav.
चरम लक्ष्य का,
This is our topmost goal.
इसलिए कहते हैं ये जो परक्यत्व भाव
So this parakyata bhav,
भागवत में दर्शन कराया,
only the Srimad Bhagavatam explains this.
अमल पुराण श्रीमद् भागवत
So the spotless Puran Srimad Bhagavatam
प्रमाण दे रहे हैं,
is giving evidence.
एक दूसरी दूसरी
So spotless Puran means other Puranas, they have some fault?
परक्यत्व भाव की उज्जवल रस की
Sorry, Gurudev, no. So actually, the last sentence. So the last Purana, the other Puranas, they don't explain about parakyaras, this conjugal mood, paramore mood. But Bhagavatam, yes, it explains about it. Especially Krishna established all these truths in this world by Uddhava, like with the help of Uddhava.
की जो प्रेम माधुर्य
How the prema of Srimati Radhika is the highest, and
प्रातवर प्रतत्व भजन संसुन
even the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan, he's telling to the gopis, Napariham Nirabhaditsamyujam, I cannot repay you for your love. I'm always indebted to you. Krishna told them.
अपने को
Krishna himself,
ऋणी मान रहे हैं,
he feels
इसलिए गोपी प्रेम
he's
में
indebted to
अपना
Gopi Prem.
कहे ऋणी। ये भागवत में दर्शाया है।
So the Bhagavatam shows this.
ये सर्वोत्तम प्रेम कहाँ पर है?
Where is the highest Prem?
इसी के आधार ही पर हमारे गोस्वामी
So on this basis, our Goswamis,
रसमाधुर्य ग्रंथ
they have written their
वर्णन किया है।
Rasamadurya books and have described all this in their books, like the Lalita Madhava and Vidagda Madhava also.
चक्रवर्ती पाद
And also the books of Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad. In their books, they have described all these things.
तो ये समस्त भाव माधुर्य की प्राप्ति ही हमारी चरम लक्ष्य है।
So our main goal is to attain
विद्या मध्य
these moods.
कौन विद्या है?
So what is the best of the knowledges?
कृष्ण भक्ति विद्या ही सर्वोच्च कीर्ति
The knowledge about Krishna Bhakti. And about all the fame. What is the highest fame? Or in this world? So who is the most famous person? So how many people they take birth and how many people they die? Not because of coronavirus. For the last 2 years, how many people have died in this country, in that country?
रिपोर्ट नहीं दिया कितने लोग जन्म लिया।
But nobody has given report of how many people
ये वाले को
were born in this, like, they are giving report of how many people died, how many people, these people died, this amount of people died, but not giving reports of how many people took birth. They are not telling this.
जन्म ले रहे कि नहीं ले रहे?
But people are also taking birth, but nobody's telling us. They're just giving emphasis and saying how many people died. Oh, if they died, is good, Gurudev is saying. If they died, is good.
स्थान नहीं मिलेगा।
Otherwise, if so many people, not place for everybody to sit down.
साफ हो जाए तब तो ठीक रहते ना।
So if the jungle is cleansed, then it will be good.
आपके सभी लोग यदि जिंदा रहते
If everybody would be alive, like all the generations,
रहने की जगह है।
so there will be no place for everyone.
प्रश्न भी करते हैं।
So Bhagavan does this. Some people ask,
जे महाराज
Maharaj,
ये बात बताओ
tell me why?
जन्मन के हम तो उत्सव मनाते हैं।
Okay, when somebody is born, we make a festival, everyone's happy.
नाम सुनने से लोग
But why people so afraid of death and when somebody dies, all this?
डरने से क्या तुम्हारे तुम जिंदा रह जाओगे।
So you want to stay alive,
डरो अथवा नहीं डरो।
whether you're afraid or not. Death will come to you, this is certain.
कोई रोक सकते हैं? आप बताओ।
You cannot stop the death.
मरना सबकी है।
Everybody will die.
सुनते लोग
But when people listen about death, everybody's afraid.
रोज व्यापार में दी
That's why that's why in the newspaper they always say every day how many people died, how many people died, how many, but they're not saying how many people took birth. If people die, then what?
क्या करोगे तुम? कुछ
What will you do about it? Can you do something? Can you do something? No. So tell me.
तो इसलिए लोग मर जाते हैं।
So,
हमारे घर खाली हो जाते हैं।
oh, people died and my house will be empty.
हम लोग भी मठ में रहते हैं। कितने कमरे में
So,
चले गए।
we see here in the temple, so many people left and people are going to Nityadam and our rooms are becoming empty and the people are coming and then going.
करके दूसरे स्थान में
So, people go from one place to another place.
एक स्थान को छोड़ करके हम
So, we go from one place to another place. This is what's happening.
के खाली करके
So, you make one room empty and then you go to another room or another house.
इसलिए तो तारे चैतन्य महाप्रभु के बोले
So,
रूप गोस्वामी सनातन से पत्र से लिख दिया।
that's why Rupa Goswami, he wrote a letter to Sanatana. Where is Mathura Puri? Where is Ramchandra? Even Ramchandra came to this material world. He also left with all his associates. He left or not?
भगवान रामचंद्र अपने परिवार के
Bhagavan Ramachandra, he took all his associates and he went to the spiritual world.
परिवार के लेकर के आज चले जाते हैं, लीला करके फिर चले जाते हैं। जुग जुगांतर के समय के आते जाते
So he come every yuga.
हैं। इसलिए कहते हैं मथुरा परिकल्पित कुशला। कृष्ण भी आए
Krishna also came.
करके लेकर के आए।
He brought his associates. He did pastimes and he left.
चलेंगे कि नहीं चलेंगे?
Did he leave or not?
ये चलते हैं।
This is going on from a limited time in the past.
चलते जा रहे हैं। तो इससे क्या करें?
Then what to do about it? But
किंतु भगवत भजन की तात्पर्य देखो।
But
कितने लोग भगवत
we see Bhagavad Bhajan. How many people are doing Bhagavad Bhajan and we don't see these reports in the newspaper? How many people are performing Bhagavad Bhajan? We only see the same thing. Oh, how many people are dying? Everybody just speak about this. How these people died, these people died. Then what? Died and then what? Those who will be born, they will die? Yes.
तो इसलिए कीर्ति मरने के पहले इसलिए शास्त्र में कहा गया ये संसार से जाने के पहले
So before we go from this world, like before death, what should we do? We should be famous.
क्या कहते हैं
In Sanskrit,
उसके जीवन
like kirti, like glorious fame. So who is like really glorious or fame? If the person leaves some impression in this world before leaving this world,
पीढ़ी जाते हैं
some
उनके जीवन ही धन उसके
some
इनोसेंस
person left some heritage or something, and then people remember this person.
देखते हैं
Like the person makes something in the world, and people remember about him. Like we say in this world. Until nowadays, we remember great Mahapurushas, great personalities in the school, like some great poets. We still speak about them. We even celebrate their their anniversary, like their birthday and their death day.
स्कूल में मनाते हैं कि नहीं मनाते बताओ
In the school, they always
बंगाल में
celebrate. In Bengal, they celebrate
ठाकुर की
the day of Rabindranath Tagore. This
जन्म तारीख मृत्यु तारीख
his day which was he was born, and also when he died. We make festival for Rabindranath Tagore,
लोग
this
आते हैं उसे गाना गान गाते
poets
हैं
and
जो महान जो है
Bengali poets, because he was
इसलिए जो लोग ने
very exalted.
दान दिया
Like those also who gave their life for the country, they are also remembered. Until nowadays, they are remembered by the
तो इसी
people.
प्रकार जड़ जगत
So
में भी हम
even in
देखते
this
हैं
material world, we
कीर्ति
see
के लिए हम रखते हैं
like some people they have the fame,
बनाते हैं
and they make some murti, some statue of the person, isn't it? Because these people
कार्य किया
they did great activities in the world, so they were remembered until nowadays.
पार्थिव जगत
So
में
in the same way, in the spiritual realm or spiritual life, spiritual context,
ये ऐसे से महान पुरुष
there are some great personalities
महान आत्म की हम भी आज चिंतन करते
that also we think about them, like the Guru Varga.
हैं यद्यपि गुरु वर्ग की कहा गया उनके न जन्म न मृत्यु
Although the Guru Varga, they are not never born and never die.
वेदे मात्र का है उनके आविर्भाव तिरुभाव तिथि हम मनाते हैं
We are celebrating their appearance and disappearance. Why?
उनकी जो आदर्श उनकी जो विचार
Because their conceptions, their behavior, their ideal bhajan,
वो प्रकाशित हो
so that this may manifest in our hearts. That's why we celebrate.
चिंतन करते
That's why we think about them.
हैं उनके लिए विरह अनुभव करते हैं
We feel separation from them.
गुरु वर्ग की हम इसलिए विरह अनुभव करते हैं
We feel separation from the Guru Varga.
आभारी रहते हैं
We are indebted to them. We feel indebted. Indebted. Which things they gave to us.
कहने को अच्छे प्राण की सुख लागिया नरोत्तम दास कहे कहना नागे नु मरिया नरोत्तम दास को
Narottam Das Thakur says.
ऐसे गुरु वर्ग है, भक्ति प्रेम रस की जगत में प्रचार किया
So these Guru Vargas, they establish prema in this world. They preach prema in this world. So we are all indebted to them.
इसलिए कहते हैं जीव की कीर्ति की तरह
So what is the real glory or fame for the jiva?
श्रेष्ठ कीर्ति क्या है
The best glory or best fame is what?
दास्य
To become the real servant of Krishna.
जीव के परम धर्म क्या है
What is the topmost dharma of the jiva?
परम धर्म क्या है
To serve Radha and Krishna, the love.
इस संसार में दुख दुख का मध्य कौन
So, and what is the highest suffering in this world? What is the worst suffering in this world? There are many kinds of sufferings, sorrows in this world.
सहनते कष्ट भोग करते
And we have to suffer, tolerate so many sorrows. Like, for example, when our parents, they leave their body. When our friends also die, we feel so unhappy, so sad.
किंतु वास्तव दुख क्या है
But what is the worst suffering? To be separated from a
कृष्ण भक्त
Krishna Bhakta, devotee. When you are far from his association, bereft of his association. That's why
जे आनिलो प्रेम धन
this song, Janilo Premadhan.
है ना प्रभु कथा गेलो आचार्य ठाकुर है? कितने सुंदर ये समस्त कीर्तन में वर्णन होती है
This kirtan describes so well, so beautiful.
ये वास्तव दुख क्या है
What is the real suffering?
संग के अभाव
To be bereft of the association of a Krishna Bhakta.
हम जैसे गुरुदेव चले जाने के
Like after Gurudev left, everybody's thinking, who will we associate with now?
आश्चर्य की बात है
After Gurudev left. Isn't it amazing when Gurudeva was there? If you associated or not, I don't know if you associated or not. But after Gurudeva left,
शायद ये किया तो संग के अपने अपने महिमा कर और गुरुदेव रहते हुए मैं तो किसी को
then you said "Oh, associated, I did this and that." But when Gurudev was here, maybe we never see the person.
एक दो दिन आकर के बाद
Many few people would come only for 1 or 2 days,
महिमा को प्रकाश करने
but then later they want to brag. Then now I had so much association, this and that. Really, those who have associated with Gurudev, really,
पीछे रह गया
they are in the back.
सब कहते ये समझ ये महाभागवत है वो है कहते कि नहीं
And then they're saying, oh, he's a Mahabhagavat, this and that.
ये महाभागवत है
Oh, he's a Mahabhagavat. People are going in this direction. Okay, so go to him. Who can stop you?
लोगों ने गुरुदेव के
But those who really have served Gurudeva and those who have
संग किया
associated with Gurudeva,
उनके तरफ देखना नहीं है।
you are not looking to them.
वास्तव ये दिखाई पड़ता है।
This we see nowadays. This really we see nowadays.
जिन लोगों ने गुरुदेव की सेवा की,
Those who have served Gurudeva, those who have, stay in the association of Gurudeva,
चार आदर्श एक ग्रहण
those who accepted the ideal vicharas of Gurudeva,
कोई नहीं प्रकाश,
nobody is telling their glories. Nobody want to tell their glories.
सब बस कहते हैं हाँ
But everybody is saying, oh, he's a Mahabhagavata, he's a Mahabhagavat.
नहीं करे वो महाभारत,
I'm not saying the person is not a Mahabhagavata. Okay.
पर आक्षेपात करने के लिए
I'm not saying anything. I'm not sitting here to say anything against. And this is not my goal. I just want to say that
जिन लोगों ने गुरुदेव के लिए
those who
दान दिया,
have offered and sacrificed everything for Gurudev,
गुरुदेव के विचार आदर्श
those who accepted the ideal conceptions of Gurudev, we just have to follow this.
ये हमारी कहनी है।
This is what I want to say.
हमारे संघ के साथ हम चलना है,
We have to stay in this association with the conceptions of Gurudeva.
लेकर के जो चलते हैं, उसके पीछे चलना है।
We have to follow behind these persons who have also accepted these vicharas of Gurudeva. Those who haven't accepted the vicharas, opinions, and ideas of Gurudeva, nothing.
चले जाने की बात
And after Gurudeva left, they are like,
है, मैं तो देखा गुरुदेव के समय
oh, I saw in the time of Gurudeva.
अभी लोग कहते हैं
Those who are saying now all these things that they were associated so much, that time I didn't see them near.
कभी विशेष के उत्सव में कोई
Maybe some special festival they would come, like one person.
कहते हैं लोग, है, मैं तो इनको देखा ही नहीं।
But generally I would never see them.
माधव महाराज थे,
But Srila Madhva Maharaj, Tita Maharaj, Premanand Prabhu,
40 साल से
yeah, we are always there. 40 years we are around Gurudeva. This is true. This is true.
गुरुदेव जाते थे,
Wherever Gurudeva used to go,
तो उसके आगे पीछे
we are always around Gurudeva. But the others we never saw together.
चलो
Anyway,
बड़ी की बात है, कहते ठीक है,
I said, okay.
अगर तुम लोग के सुकृति नहीं है
Ah,
इसलिए उत्तम महाभागवत तरफ नहीं जा
then they say, ah, you don't have Sukriti, that's why you're not going for the Uttam Mahabhagavat. These others are not Uttam Bhagavat. People are saying this.
सुनते रहते हैं,
I listen to this, I listen.
किंतु कौन उत्तम भागवत
But who is Uttam Bhagavat? Who is not Uttam Bhagavat?
नहीं कौन देंगे,
Who will give this decision?
वो विचार जरूरी है।
These you have to think about it.
किंतु इतना ही हम समझते
But anyway, we understand that
हैं, ये गुरुदेव की संग जिन लोगों की निक्रिया
those who have associated with Gurudeva, those who have
ग्रहण किया,
accepted the conceptions, ideas of Gurudeva, we have to go towards them. This is the thing.
तो भेड़ क्या बोलते हैं,
Otherwise, it's like the sheep. You know, the sheep. No, sorry, sheep. Just like following the blind sheep follow another blind sheep. No benefit. Like just like a sheep following another sheep. Okay, anyway, we honor them. We give respect, yes.
किंतु एक दूसरे के
But
निंदा करने के लिए बात दूसरे के
to criticize each other and to convert others,
जो शब्द आते हैं उसके लिए बहुत दुख आता है।
what they say, I feel so unhappy listening to that. Nothing else.
जा रहे कौन माना
Okay, if you're going to another person, okay, I cannot prohibit it, you, and also, I cannot even prohibit it, you, because even if I would do, there's no use because the person will go whatever the person wants. But what is the real truth?
जैसे कहते हैं अरे ये तो उत्तम भागवत है
Ah, you are Uttam Bhagavat,
और ये लोग थोड़ी उत्तम भागवत,
and the others are not Uttam Bhagavat. The others are not. So let's go to the other. Okay, go then, go, chalo.
आज जिनको डक सुने केहू ना चले तबे एकला चलो हैं? आज हो जाए बंगला कीर्तन है,
There's a Kirtan in Bengali Gurudeva quoted, I don't know the meaning. So, what to do?
भगवान की भजन करो,
Do the Bhagavat Bhajan, worship God. Who is qualified, who is not qualified?
যোগ্যতা বিচারে কিছু নাই পাই তোমার করুণা সার, করুণা না হলে কাঁদিয়া কাঁদিয়া কান্না না রাখি, यही तो भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर के विचार है,
This is the conception of Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
के प्रति यही प्रार्थना करना।
These are humble requests to Gurudev. So,
आनंद के बारे में तो
time is up.
कैसे महान
So today we're speaking about Raya Ramananda, how his great personality, his kata is so beautiful, his ideal concepts.
दंड दिया,
You know, Mahaprabhu chastised Chota Haridas, but Mahaprabhu never chastised Raya Ramananda. Instead, he gave so much honor to him.
स्वरचित
Raya Ramananda, he wrote one book.
क्या नाम है,
What is the name?
जगन्नाथ वल्लभ नाटक,
Jagannath Balaban Natakam.
वल्लभ नाटक जो है देवदासियों के द्वारा
So, because of this book, it's like a drama, a play. So, Raya Ramananda had to rehearse with the Devdasis. And Raya Ramananda, at that time, he was with this young, beautiful women, with them, like to rehearse with them the play. And even Mahaprabhu never spoke anything against it. But for Chota Haridas, Mahaprabhu, he criticized and punished him so much.
ये विचार
So in this way, the conception of Mahaprabhu
उत्तम भागवत और उसके लिए भी दिखाया
of an Uttam Bhagavata we see. I'm not saying Chota Haridas was not Uttam Bhagavata, I'm not saying, but for each devotee Mahaprabhu, he established and gave some teaching to the jivas of this world
कर वैराग्य करो नादे का लोग देखनिया
that we should not do Malkat Vairagya, for example,
अनासक्त है
renunciation
निष्ठा
of like a monkey.
से लोग व्यवहार
Mahaprabhu told to Raghunatha Das Goswami.
यदि सभी चैतन्य महाप्रभु रघुनाथ दास गोस्वामी के द्वारा
Mahaprabhu told many teachings to Raghunath Das Goswami. Told him.
दिखाया गया
We see beautiful conceptions about this, like beautiful vichara ideas explained. And how can we
करें
also follow these and enter the Bhagavad
बहुत अनेक शिक्षा
Bhajan?
प्रद्युम्न मिश्र
Many teachings, also the story of Pradyumna Mishra,
महाप्रभु भी
how by Pradyumna Mishra Mahaprabhu also showed
केवल ब्रह्मचारी अथवा
that not only
ब्राह्मण होकर के अपने
the person is a brahmachari and a brahmana means he should not be proud actually, just because he's a brahmana and brahmachari.
ये समझ
But the bhav is very important. Now Maharaj will speak. Time is up. Vanchakalpa.